So here come the A-League teams. It is Australia Cup round of 32 and the Preston Lions hosting Newcastle Jets from BT Connor Reserve, Genesis Steel Stadium. There have been 23 cup sets in the 14 seasons of Australia Cup. Are we about to add to that tally tonight on a chilly night in the northern suburbs of Melbourne? It's Preston Lions' first bow in the national round of 32. They've had their struggles qualifying for these national stages of the Cup, but they are not totally uninitiated, given they did compete in the Australian Championship at the end of last year. For the Newcastle Jets, they're the cup holders. They had such a torrid cup history before going all the way to hoist the trophy not too far from tonight's venue at Lakeside Stadium at the culmination of last year's Cup. So here come the two teams out of the tunnel. The title defence begins here for the Newcastle Jets, and they are paying homage to Newcastle KB United with their kits in the Cup this season, and they've got the away kit on show. And Preston Lions, they are launching a Cup kit of their own tonight. They sit fourth in NPL Victoria, and they still have the Doherty Cup final to look forward to on August the 8th against Heidelberg United as well. They're chasing silverware, but tonight they're chasing history, trying to knock off the Newcastle Jets, who amazingly have proven themselves to be quite cup set proof. Some might say it's the product of often being eliminated in the round of 32 by fellow A-League opposition, but the stats tell the story that Newcastle have never fallen to an NPL opponent in the Cup. Max Burgess coming off a sensational season. The Jets didn't just win the Cup, they won the A-League Premiership as well and fell agonisingly short of the A-League Grand Final as they were knocked out on penalties in the second leg of the semi-final by Sydney FC. These occasions are always met by bumper crowds and plenty of unknowns, and Preston Lions fans have made their way into BT Connor Reserve again tonight, as they have done in numbers ever since the club won promotion back to the top flights. So the pre-match formalities continue. You might see former Newcastle goalkeeper Ryan Scott there exchanging handshakes. He's having a stellar campaign between the sticks for the Preston Lions now. So let's see how the teams line up in full. Preston have made 3 changes to the team that played a 0-0 draw against South Melbourne at the weekend. Luca Tavir, the big out, he has a groin strain. Jean Albano, no stranger to the Cup, nor is Zach Cianci, who played for NWS Spirit a couple of years ago, and Jason Romero, who actually scored in a Cup set. So Preston Lions with experience across the board at this stage of the competition, just not for the Preston Lions themselves. And for the Newcastle Jets, so many names departing in the off-season. Eli Adams, Clayton Taylor, Lockie Rose, Ben Gibson, Lockie Bayliss, Cotta Mizunuma and Mark Natter, along with Costa Grozos. But plenty of the title winners from last season remain, including Delianov in goal, Wilmering crucial at left-back, Max Burgess in the captain's armband, Zach Clough will be like a new signing, and tonight we get to see the former victory man, Nikos Vergos, the Greek striker, has joined Mark Milligan's Jets to see what he can do in his second A-League campaign. Zoran Markovski had a decorated career as a player for the Melbourne Knights in the NSL era, and you might see one-cap Kiwi international Jeff Fleming sitting to his right as one of the assistants. Of course, Markovski was coaching Avondale FC at this stage of the competition last season, while Mark Milligan was in his first season as the Newcastle Jets head coach, and it couldn't have gone much better. His assistant coach Nick Stavroulakis sitting next to him. The Brains Trust ready to go again, hoping for more Jets silverware, and it starts in the same city where they hoisted the trophy last season. Both teams in their huddles. We've got a little bit of time until kickoff. Roy O'Donovan, former Newcastle player, former A-League star, joins me. Roy, are we going to get cup set number 23 in this game tonight?
Well, anything can happen in the cup, you know that, Teo, but it promises to be an exciting encounter tonight. A cold night in Victoria, but let's hope the football and the Australia Cup warms us up and heals our World Cup withdrawal symptoms.
Well, Eric Sava, the referee, he used the Australian Championship as the platform to referee his first A-League game over summer. He's one of the rising stars of the referee profession, and he's been rewarded with the big appointment here. So let's see if the Jets can start off on the front foot, just like last season. The defending cup holders, kick proceedings off at Geneseo Stadium, and the Australia Cup round of 32 between the Preston Lions and Newcastle Jets is underway. And Roy O'Donovan, in spite of all the new faces in the Newcastle team, those who were on this journey last season would know that the fast start, the powerful start that Newcastle made under Mark Milligan through the Cup campaign was integral, continuing that momentum into the league.
Well, you're totally correct there, Teo. They were relentless last year. Fitness-wise, I thought it was the fittest Newcastle Jets team I've seen in a long time. Energy, pace, but like you touched on, they've lost a little bit of star quality in Eli Adams and Clayton Taylor and Mark Natta especially. So it'll be interesting to see how they change things up tonight.
James Delianov, see just a little patch of no grass in the penalty area, but the ball ran across it with no such concerns as the Jets look to play out from the back. You can see the Preston players are leading the press energetically. Jason Romero up front, and it's going to lead to a turnover, and Gian Albano winning the ball here. Albano running at the defender in Will Dobson, who was back helping out, and he holds his ground, lifts it across. This could be the perfect start. The ball is headed up by Wilmering. Not quite away though. Preston with another chance. A loose foot just stuck out by Alex Grant. And wearing the new colours of the Jets, he's arrived from Sydney FC, and he will seemingly be a key part in replacing Mark Natta this campaign.
Yeah, I think it's a very shrewd signing from Mark Milligan. I think Alex Grant was always a tough opponent to play against. Big, strong, powerful boy, and you know what? He's a real leader back there, especially now tonight with no Shaughnessy. It'll be interesting to see, will Max Cooper play a lot more this year? He's obviously a bit more of a ball playing centre back as well, so watch those two tonight. That'll be a very interesting combination.
Will Dobson's pass intercepted, and now Preston are going to send it all the way back to their goalkeeper Ryan Scott, whose outstanding cup performances for Bentley Greens were one of the things that put him on the radar to finally break into the A-League to begin with. So a competition that he knows and loves. Here's Jamal Ali. Bit of shirt grabbing going on, and eventually enough for the referee to say Zach Clough has committed a foul. And Ali, he's a running machine. He will get up and down that right flank all night.
He is, and as we know, Zach Clough missed a lot of football last year, so Jamal Ali is testing his lungs very early on here.
Oliver Kubele with a pass out to the right, and Ali resumes his confrontation with Clough and is going to defer back here. Kubele to the edge of the box. Neat link-up play here from Preston, and the shooting channel nearly open for Sian Cuba. He scored in the national rounds last year at Avondale before following coach Zoran Markovski over to Preston. But his opportunity was shut down there by Max Cooper. You mentioned before, Roy was in a recent Australian under-20 team for a tour of China as the starting centre-back for the young Socceroos, so his potential is certainly noted by the national setup, as Preston are enjoying possession quite comfortably against their A-League opponents through the opening minutes here. A crossfield ball. Tough for Zach Cianci to bring down. He's a lively winger though. And now Ali breaks to the byline and decides to double back. Cianci. Dom Felino, the right back. Possession given away. Clough. Newcastle with a chance to possess the ball and build. Nikos Virgos. Back out to Zach Clough. His pass concedes some ground to Alex Grant. Here goes Max Cooper out to the right. So the first extended chain of possession here for the visiting Jets. They're working the ball from flank to flank here. Wilmering. Preston happy to sit deep and watch Cooper in possession here. He's found Burgess in the pocket, and it's cleared away from Virgos. The numbers closed in and nicked on very cleverly. Preston able to break at least to the halfway line. The crowd finding their voice for Gian Albano as he goes to ground, but didn't look like anything resembling a foul there from the Newcastle defender. And now they surge back in the other direction. Virgos has Clough in the middle, and the defender's got to go. Ali coming across, and Clough, he thought there might have been a corner, but it's out for a goal kick.
Yeah, well, as you said, Preston started really well there, but Newcastle Jets got a little bit of possession and starting to find their groove. But it looks like a very open game. Promises to be a great affair tonight, Theo.
Well, these cup ties, the cup sets have had all types of variety, whether it's comebacks, unexpected, like Redlands, whether it's a team scoring just the one, locking down and clinging on. An open game is the sort of thing that provides massive intrigue, and the Jets won't mind that because their new strikers want to score. Preston are going to be the next to go on the attack, though, and it's a dashing run down the right flank from Cianci. He was looking for someone short, but no one presented for the ball, and Grant cleared away. Clough and Ali has been the duel of the night so far. Ali takes the points. Preston favouring their right side so far. Cianci with a blocked cross, and it will lead to the first corner kick of the game.
Yeah, well, look, Zoran Markovski will be very happy with how his team has started. You know, they're passing the ball really well. Their combinations into the striker are knocking it wide, and Jamal Ali from right back making his overlapping runs, testing Zach Clough's, as I said, long stamina. But yeah, so far so good for Preston. It's great to watch. Pure football.
So, first corner of the game. Pack of players descends on the penalty area late. And even though the net was rippling, it's because the goalkeeper Delianov ended up in there, but the ball didn't. A little bit of a misleading visual, it must be said.
Well, there's a lot of fans back in Newcastle very scared there a couple of seconds ago.
But your eyes do not deceive you. The ball stayed out, even though the goalkeeper didn't. Preston straight back to work after a quick throw in. Kubele out to Albano. And the offside flag is going to intervene for the first time tonight. Assistant referees Mark Tito on the near side and Helena Panagiotidis over on the outer side, while A-League regular Lockie Keevers is tonight's fourth official. From the base of midfield, Alex Nunez getting a start for the Jets to Wilmering. Nunez, you can see his options were few. Clough perhaps the only one. The two whacks over on the wing. Concede a bit of ground. Cooper gets the chance to show us his passing range. He sends it wide to the right. Now Burgess is going to take it to the byline. The cutback a little shallow. And Sion Cuba just opened up the body to avoid conceding a corner kick. It's out for a throw.
Well, it's amazing with the Newcastle Jets especially, you know, reigning cup champions, reigning league champions, and you can't say it's a total rebuild, but it is a team tonight that's finding its feet and working out some new combinations. So it'll be interesting how quickly they get to grips with this game now.
Bertoncello concedes a little bit of ground, and the Jets will reset with Grant. See Nahuel Bernardo, the Argentine striker, buzzing around. Only recently joined Preston in the transfer window. Not cup-tied, though, after he joined from South Melbourne, who automatically qualified for the round of 32 and thus didn't have to play any cup qualifiers to make him cup-tied. They'll, of course, be playing A-League opposition of their own in the form of Adelaide United. Final match night of the round of 32. Preston building from the left. And an early ball. Albano chasing. And the back pass is composed enough from Joel Bertolicio. Grant, incisive ball up the middle. Burgess. Now Virgos. Misplaced pass, Albano. He plays it back to Stefan Negro. More than 100 games experience in the A-League for Melbourne Victory and the Brisbane Roar. So very much a senior figure in this Preston team over on the left side of defence. But is Burgess okay? Did Nahuel Bernardo run into him a little late here? It seems as though the Argentine perhaps inspired by his compatriots at the World Cup, is looking to take a physical approach.
A little bit of an Argentinian approach there, but I think Maxi Burgess will be making a mental note on that one. He'll be watching out for Bernardo the next time.
I don't think that was the friendliest low five between the two. Bernardo, who has had 5 clubs in 5 years since arriving in Australia. He started out at the Dandenong Thunder. He actually scored in the Australia Cup National Rounds in 2021 for Hume City. He's also had stops at Green Gully and South Melbourne before moving to Preston most recently. The reason he's so popular is he is a guarantee of goals wherever he goes. Ali, and now Sian Cuba. He's got a metre spare here, Cuba. Can he find a teammate on the cut across? The first time shot was a flyer, but it's well wide of the target. And that is disappointing. The finish from Jason Romero wasn't to be applied.
Well worked again. I think they're switching the play really well. They obviously have a game plan, Preston Lions, to get the ball wide to the likes of Sian Cuba, especially on those overlaps, but he didn't really get hold of that one there. But Albano, Cianci in the wide areas, isolating them against Bertolicio and Wilmering. That's obviously a tactic for them tonight.
Romero, who scored a great forgotten goal in a cup set. Everyone remembers Tynan Diaz scoring from long distance against Western Sydney in 2021. Romero scored the other Arvia Leichhardt goal in that cup set.
I'm sure he remembers.
And Tynan Diaz, shout out to him wherever he's watching from. One of the great cup set moments, his long-range strike. Here come the Jets, and this is dangerous here because they've got a group of players on the move, and then everyone just slows down ever so slightly and allows Preston to set their defence. Here comes Dobson with a long shot, and as it veers out for a goal kick, we're going to throw it down to the sideline. Michael Saponi, good evening.
Oh, good evening, Teo and Roy. Fantastic conditions here tonight. I know we're in the middle of winter, but there is no wind to speak of at all. And anyone who's been to BT Connor Reserve or Genesis Steel Stadium knows that it can get windy here. So perfect conditions for a night of football. There's a little bit of on the pitch, and the ball is zipping around beautifully. The pitch is in great condition. They did stay off it for about a month not too long ago to ensure it was in prime condition, and it's playing beautifully tonight. Two here making plenty of noise.
Fantastic, thank you, Zappers. As Dobson advances for the Jets, here's a chance for Clough, and Ali is able to block the shot, and he avoids conceding a corner. Preston trying to keep the ball in, and that's fancy footwork against the line. Sian Cuba able to break out of defence. He has advantage from the referee for the little knock on the ankles as he went, and the crossfield ball finds Albano. West Australian initially, Jean Albano, before coming to Victoria to continue his career. And he tries to run at the defence here, and, well, the clearance is shallow. Preston stay on the attack. Waiting in the middle was Bernardo, but the ball never arrived. And now another chance for Kubele. Here's Romero. Aiden Bryce, a Newcastle boy, playing against the Jets. This will be a sentimental night for him. As we see a veer in and strike, and Romero sending that one over the perimeter fence. Not his finest work there, the American.
No, but he does enjoy having a shot, as most goal scorers do, so his eyes probably lit up here when he opened up the shooting, but yeah, that's a mitre gone into the ditch there behind the goal.
So up to the 14-minute mark. The goalkeeper significantly tested, but this is a game that is promising plenty of creativity and chances. Preston have very much just worked their way in from the very first minute. No thoughts of sitting deep or trying to keep things tight. Both teams are happy to play against each other, albeit not at breakneck speed. And the Jets again are patient here. Dobson. Releasing pass to Cooper, we've seen a few times. Not sure why the Boo Boys have come out for Xavier Bertoncello tonight, as the ball is cleared away here. For Joel Bertolicio, I should say. Switch of flanks. Here's a chance for Wilmering. He cuts it across, and the first time finish. Oh, it's gone just wide in the end, but The Jets just showed through Nunez there that they've got a little bit of a change of gear in them.
Nice switch of play there out to the left-hand side to Wilmering, who, as we all know, last year was outstanding. A lot of assists came out on the left-hand side, but Alex Nunez very unlucky there, just the wrong side of the post. But warning signs for Preston Lions there. Jets are coming.
Preston responding with a long ball that's not going to break on the diagonal. Over to Chianchi on the wing. Easily collected by Delianov. Dobson allowed time to just drift in possession. Wilmering, left foot. League high in assists in the A-League last campaign. He was already an established senior player, but in terms of his productivity, it was such a massive leap in terms of his contribution. Here's Bertoncello linking up with Bertolicio, and the return ball couldn't connect. And the gap opens here for the opening strike. Will Dobson guides it in, and the Newcastle Jets, the cup holders, take the lead. And they have shown their quality after just 16 minutes at Geneseo Stadium to lead 1-0.
Well, they've had a couple of sighters. It just broke nicely. Dobson told Vargas, get out of the way. I'm having this one, and he take it really well against a good keeper in Ryan Scott, who had no chance there. 1-0 Jets.
This young talent, Will Dobson, who has really thrived under the coaching of Mark Milligan. Is he set for another A-League season where he takes it to the next level? He was so good last campaign, Roy, and he's just showed his composure there with that finish.
He's an outstanding talent, one of their most important players last year. I'm so happy that the football club managed to keep hold of him. A local boy, the fans love him, and for moments just like that, he produces the goods when it matters, and last season he was top-notch.
So the Preston response, Newcastle had just shown us a slight hint that they did have a shift of gear in them, and it didn't take much for them to side through there.
Well, they certainly have a switch of gear. Preston Lions, though, they're not backing down. It's their final bit of quality that they're lacking at the moment. That final pass, that final cross, the final shot. As you can see, the Jets don't need as many chances to take their chances, so Preston need to be more clinical when they do get up in that final third.
Here's a case in point. Can they execute? Romero had that wild long shot a moment ago. The underlapping run is promising, but the cut across is intercepted straight into Burgess, and he is able to clear away. Challenge is going to win the ball back in the attacking third, though. Preston happy to concede some ground to Foligno. Chianchi. Wilmering this time. He tries to find a burst of acceleration. It's a looping cross, and Delianov makes a good confident claim. Bernardo was coming from some distance away. Delianov perhaps not happy that he was run into by the striker, but in the end he makes the catch. Dobson. Bertolicio. Grant's pass. Clough protecting the ball. Wilmering first time. Nunez and Virgos. And the link-up is promising for the Jets. First-time ball, and it should have been two. The flag goes up. And perhaps that's a let-off for Bertoncello, because Wilmering's pass at the end of a flowing move, that's the Jets football we came to know and love last season.
It was beautiful football. Nico Virgos involved as well. Link-up play, Wilmering on the overlap, and a beautiful delivery. And Xavier Bertoncello will be happy that offside flag went up, because that was a good chance for a player of his standards. A link up as well. Nunez involved. Virgos perfectly weighted. That was a great way to pat. Ryan Scott done really well as well. I know it was offside. He made a great save there. He still got it.
Well, it looked smooth from the Jets, but now they probe the opposite flank. Bertolicio asking a lot of Bertoncello with that pass, and that will be easily claimed by Scott. Here's Aiden Bryce for Preston. To Stefan Negro. He gets a bit of pace up and plays it to Albano. John Albano surveying his options. Has to concede a bit of ground. Kubele and Felino. Chanchi. Tucks it back inside for Ali. Kubele again. Bernardo looking very isolated. He was surrounded by 5 Newcastle players, every point of the compass there, so Preston keeping wide in their attacking formation. Now they've got some more numbers popping up in the middle. Sian Cuba! It hits the woodwork and somehow has stayed out, rolling agonisingly across the line, only to be cleared away.
Well, what an attack that was. But they've done that well, Preston Lions. They recycled the ball so well. They changed the point of attack. But when the ball broke to Sian Cuba here, he'd only one thought in his mind. Very unlucky on any other day. 99 times out of 100, it rolls across the line and in. Very unlucky.
Well, they couldn't have come much closer to scoring there, the Preston Lions. Sian Cuba, 5 goals this season. That should have been number 6, if not for the slightest of margins. Here's Albano. Preston, Boyd. Negro, the return pass. Bertolicio made a contest. It's going to slide over to Cianci here. He cuts it back. Can Cuba repeat the dose? This time it's batted down. A shot on target saved by Delianov.
They've been terrific, to be fair. They haven't taken a backward step. You wouldn't, you know, they're not overawed by the fact that it's the reigning A-League and Australia Cup champions, albeit with a couple of changes. Preston Lions are well and truly in this game.
And they have not been thrown off their stride by conceding whatsoever. If anything, the response has been as good a football as we've seen from them so far in this contest. The 28-year-old Sian Cuba has been central to it. We are only a quarter of the way through the night's action. No hydration breaks, would you believe? It's going to be a full 45-minute first half. And here's a ball, incisive as it is. Wilmering, first time ball again. This time the flag stays down. And the follow-up from Virgos. The Jets have got 2. And it is a goal on competitive debut for Nikos Virgos. Welcome to the Jets. And the cup holders double their lead.
Well, the link-up play for the Jets, for all their new signings, the combinations in that front third, I was worried at the start of the game there was a lack of movement. But no lack of movement there. The ball, an old-fashioned up, back and through. Ball goes forward, gets knocked back. We'll see it here in the replay. Wilmering again, heavily involved. Lovely pass in the first play. Lovely touch, Bertoncello. And that's a beautiful finish by Nico Virgos. And that'll ease the pressure out. The new number 9. Take a little bit of weight off, and that'll feel ever so good, scoring your first goal for your new club.
Well, it was an eyebrow-raising move when it happened. Victory fans had certainly lost their patience with Nikos Virgos, and then the moment they realised he would be playing for Mark Milligan, many of them thought, well, are we about to see him revived in a new system, new town, new lease of life, Roy?
Well, let's hope so, because he's got a lot of the attributes. He's quick, he works hard, he's decent in the air. My criticism last year would have been he didn't score enough goals. And a club like Melbourne Victory, or any club, Newcastle Jets now, a winning team, you know, a number 9 is judged on goals, but that'll do him no harm whatsoever, scoring there so early on.
So Preston are 2 down. Can they halve the deficit in short order? Albano gets no change out of Bertolicio there. He sees it over the line for a goal kick. Let's talk about the pass into the box from Wilmering as well. If you're Zoran Markovski watching Dom Felino, the right back, do you get him some more support? Wilmering has put in some delicious first-time balls into the box already.
That's a great word, that. Delicious. That's a beautiful word to get the night going there. But you're right, though. Sumptuous, delicious pass from... and he's done it a few times. He's done it, 11 assists last year. But just a player really at the top of his game, Wilmering. And lovely pass in. Bertoncello read the script. Lovely forward run. And lovely way to pass just to drop it into Virgos' path. And yeah, striker's dream, right in front of the goal. Go and hit it, son. I didn't he just?
It's Not able to play the ball here in full flight, has to cut back instead. We've seen Nunez and Burgess and the Jets with 2 goals in pocket now. Do have a bit of command over the contest. And Dobson is going to be fouled here. Romero protesting, but I suspect it was Albano who committed the free kick offence. Grant able to evade Bernarda's slide challenge. Wilmering trying to curl it around again, and the offside flag goes up against Zach Clough here.
But again, Wilmering, the way to pass, he's like a quarterback at the moment for Newcastle Jets, the way he's spraying these passes in behind and stretching the Preston Lions' back four. Terrific to watch.
Bryce. Ball moved on by Romero. Negro and Albano and Romero not able to advance the ball. Scott to Ali. Good first touch. He can't quite evade Zach Clough. Both teams think it's their throw. You see the assistant referee in the background there saying it's going to be Jets' ball.
Well, Zach Clough is getting his second win now. He's finally getting into the action, which is good. And what I'm happy, Theo, to see as well from Newcastle Jets, obviously, arguably their 2 best players in Clayton Taylor and Eli Adams are gone now. And you're kind of thinking, will Mark Milligan tweak things with the style? Doesn't look like it. Looks like they're going to play that attacking brand of football, and you add the likes of Joe Lolly and Badalado to come back into the mix along with Vargas and Bertoncello and the like. It's going to be great stuff to watch this season on this viewing so far.
Here is Bertoncello, but Bryce is able to dispossess him. For those of you who didn't see it over the off-season, Gamba Osaka in the J-League coming in for Eli Adams after an 11-goal season last campaign. Clayton Taylor, he was going to sign for MacArthur before Barnsley in the English Championship came in over the top and paid a transfer fee. So the Jets were already losing Clayton Taylor. It's just exactly where they lost him to. Changed over the course of the off-season. Grant. Now Clough. Nunez. All the way back to Cooper. Dobson saw the pass early to Bertolicio. First time ball. Just drifts across the top of the box. Sian Cuba has no choice but to clear. And it's going to work. Cianci's done very well. He rides a challenge, and now the switch of flanks is on. Romero trying to break through the middle, but the covering defence from Bertolicio was good. Even though it's only early in pre-season, he's come back fleet-footed there to be able to out-sprint Jason Romero to the ball. Yeah,
he's a machine, but that's been Preston Lions' problem so far. It's that final pass. Again, Jason Romero is never going to have the legs to outrun the centre-back, so you've got to get the ball to his feet. And as I said, it was 2 or 3 yards ahead of him, and Bertolicio ate that one up.
See Delianov growing in confidence. He's roaming out to defensive midfield now. And from the right flank, Dobson. Virgos bouncing the ball back out. Bertoncello put his head down. And he's able to draw a corner kick. You saw something unfolding during that phase of play.
I did. I just saw Wilmering, our quarterback. He was coming in at the back stick there. If Bertoncello could get his head up and hang it up, I would have liked to seen him pick him out at the back stick there. But yeah, Preston Lions just about did enough to snuff it.
Teasing for a potential short corner here. The Jets, and Clough, the body language. Well, he faked us all, including me, because he did play it short. And now here it comes to the near post. Nunez can't keep the attack going. Cianci, broken play, dragged over to the opposite flank. He's given the ball away with that pass. Wilmering, he's popped up on the opposite flank as well. Players slowly but surely reorganising themselves here. Clough back through the right. And a first-time ball is turned behind for another corner. And the Jets have really got Preston against the ropes at the moment.
They really have, and what they're doing ever so well, when they're playing the ball through midfield, and the likes of Burgess is trying to play those balls into Clough on the inside or Dobson, the second ball, those runs from the far side, either Wilmering on one side of Bertolicio in behind here, absolutely killing Preston Lions, breaking the whole defence apart. And they're finding it hard to get a handle on it, Teo, at the moment.
No short corner this time. Conventional outswinger from Clough. First head of Vergos, and Scott through with a high rise to the ball. An overarm throw out to Aidan Bryce. Felino. Ali. Down the right sideline, but he's not able to find Cianci. Grant. Nunez in plenty of space. Cuba trying to close it down. Vergos, Cuba catches him. Kubele. Bryce able to find Stefan Negro in space. Negro on a long run, but it's decision time now. At the edge of the box, he just defers to Romero. Newcastle with plenty of numbers back. Kubele, Romero. And as things break down, we're going to throw it back down to Michael Zapponi on the sideline. Zappers, you've got some intel for us.
Yeah, super impressive start from the Newcastle Jets. Given that they've only had 10 trainers. Spoke to Mark Milligan. They've only been together for a couple of weeks, and given the high turnover in their squad, this is really impressive the way they've started this contest tonight. He also spoke about Nikos Vergos. You touched on him earlier, how he said he's been some of the younger players around him, and he's learning over his career and what he's been able to give to those younger players in the early stages. Observed by Mark Milligan, he thinks he's going to be a huge signing for them this year. Of course, the big question, Teo, will be how they run out the second half. With only 10 training sessions in their legs, Mark Milligan will have to go to his bench and rotate the squad, so Preston need to hang in here.
It's a great point, actually. The Jets have been so impressive. I didn't even think, Roy, that the cliff might be coming in terms of their energy levels in the game.
No, it doesn't look like it. They look fit, they look sharper. He's probably right. Maybe in the hour mark there'll be the likes of Zane Scriber and Paddy Wood will get a run. Ollie Cockle, Tommy Aquilina, there's plenty on the bench.
Clough, and he's fouled. Shooting range free kick. Sian Cooper protests. The Jets, well, they were shaping to take it short. But now as they set things up, at least there's no Eli Adams and his super boot to give it a crack from this distance.
Absolutely, but there's always somebody to fill his shoes. Well, here's some of the football, and I think Sian Cuba is starting to get aware of it now. They're getting the ball into Clough and Dobson in those little pockets, and it's causing them all sorts of problem.
So it is the two diminutive playmakers, Clough and Dobson, who are brainstorming what to do over this free kick. Can they make it 3? Ryan Scott setting his defensive wall. It will be Clough, and the ball with a big deflection puts it on the roof of the net. So a corner conceded. Preston not off the hook just yet.
Yeah, I like that though. Zach Clough taking some ownership and responsibility. Didn't play a lot last year when he came in, but obviously we've seen it in previous seasons at Adelaide what a good player he is. I can understand why Mark Milligan has brought him in. So he's a player I'm actually very intrigued to watch this year and how he settles in at the Jets.
Clough. And the ball bent out. Assistant referee's flag is up. So the rest of the play, a moot point. And It's going to take us to 10 minutes of regulation to go in this first half. Australia Cup round of 32. 4 teams have already advanced to the round of 16 last week, but tonight, the first night of A-League teams in action, 3 of them playing. Cup holders Newcastle Jets sitting pretty here. Lions and Perth Glory kicking off at the same time as this one is scoreless, so the Glory have got a contest on their hands. And a slightly later kickoff, only just getting underway between Bayswater City and Sydney FC over in Perth. So we've got you covered tonight across the country with the first 3 A-League teams in action. Janchi wants to cut inside. The 1-2 can't quite release him down the wing. Wilmering went to ground, and now Burgess, and Cuba has to be careful. He's starting to repeat foul here, and Burgess able to draw the free kick.
Clever play. Burgess knew he was there, just put his body between the ball and the man, wait for the whistle. Clever.
Possession given away though. Romero forging forward, the cut across, and the 2 Preston players just watched Cooper lunge out and play it away. A good little half chance, and they might be stung on the counter here. Clough running at Bryce. Bryce able to get a tackle in. And so does Stefan Negro, and he had to. It's brought the crowd to life. Can they go end-to-end themselves here? Counter on counter, the Preston Lions. Here goes Cuba. The Jets have got their back 4 in position. Chanchi, though, isolated on the wing. And it's cleared away by Grant. Didn't that bring the game to life?
Well, it's been, as I said, from minute 1, it's been open game, end-to-end stuff. Actually, Newcastle Jets in the transition look like they're slow to recover, and that's where Preston Lions will get a chance. But their final ball needs to be better, Preston Lions.
Berlicio. One-two with Nunez. And after the rapid up and back, the Jets are seemingly happy to take a bit of sting out of the game. Dobson. Pass intercepted by Ali. Chanchi. A bit of consternation as to who gets the ball. And again, it's Newcastle who do get the nod. Last touch of Zach Chanchi. Preston bench not too happy about it, but play continues. Cooper. Nunez. Caught by his opposite number in Bernarda. Albano, the return ball. Here goes Nahuel Bernarda. He's barely had possession so far. And his first shot, while on target, was slow moving. And Delianov makes a comfortable save.
Yeah, nice kind of approach play and good pressing from Bernarda, but you're not beating Delianov from there at that angle.
He has been quiet, but he's there to finish. He's there to score. This time it's Kubele who is blown up for the foul. And the Jets are quick to leave the scene, and Wilmering is on his bike down the left. That's exactly where the ball is going. He's been so dangerous in this first half. Chops it across to the edge of the box. Virgos turns back to goal. And Burgess happy to slow things down. Grant. And now the attack diffuses. The ball runs out for a goal kick.
Yeah, but Preston Lions they're allowing too much space in midfield. The likes of Alex Nunez and Dobson, they're getting free in those pockets too often. It's going to hurt them.
They've got just over 5 minutes of regulation plus stoppage until half-time. Preston, can they keep it to 2? Can their match-hardened players find a way to overrun the Jets? Or if Newcastle score again, will they be able to sit back on an unassailable lead? Never mind potentially go on with the job. Bit of keepings off here. Cooper. Bertolicio. Burgess. with a little dash. Bertoncello. And a misplaced pass intercepted by Bryce. Ali. Well, it's almost a footy-style tackle there from Will Dobson, and Jamal Ali, even after the whistle went there, he seemed to step awkwardly, and he's down and hurt. And Dobson, well, a very deliberate foul.
Yeah, it was more Newcastle Knights than Newcastle Jets, but
He stood on the ankle.
yeah, I think it was an awkward one. I don't think he meant to do that, though. I think it was just clumsy. But Jamal Ali will feel that, no doubt about it.
Desperation to prevent the counter-attack. Here's Cuba. Felino, or the pass misplaced. Cianci having to chase it towards the line. Right in front of the gaffer, Zoran Barkovsky. Vergos. Clough. Dobson. And at the edge of the box, the tackle well timed, dispossesses Bertolicio. He went sprawling and the referee wagged the finger as the ball leaves the scene. Albano to Bernarda. The action man running style here, Nahuel Bernarda. He wills himself onto the ball, but Cooper is able to stand him up down in the corner. And then Bernarda lost his feet while Cooper kept his. And it's good one-on-one defending from the young centre-back.
Yeah, you can see Dobson again in that pocket, tries to pit to Bertolicio. Negro just got the slightest of touches. Referee probably got that one right. And again, Preston Lions was straight into a counter-attack, Theo.
They are able to flip the field. They've got plenty of territory. And other than hitting the post from Sian Cuba, the finishing touch hasn't quite been there. Lots of tees, lots of half chances. As the Jets have had the cutting edge. And Wilmering again is stretching the defence. Ali is going to cover him this time. Vergos, a 1-2. Wilmering, free to cross. Vergos over the bar. And they were giving the Preston defence the run around there.
Jesus, isn't Wilmering looking good so far this season? Those runs, the link-up play. Vergos is actually doing very well tonight. He's holding the ball up. He's waiting for the wide players, especially Wilmering on this left-hand side, to make that overlap. And they're linking up ever so well. He just didn't get the right contact on that shot in the end.
Bryce. Oh, Ryan Scott was calling for the back pass from off the frame of the goal, and the ball was played right back to the centre. Luckily, it was only very gently played. I think they're just having a word about it there.
Yeah, don't do that again.
Bryce wants to go forward this time. Stefan Negro will oblige. This is where things decelerate for Preston, though, and again, they are forced to turn back and inside. Kubalay finds Cianci. Ali bustling forward on the underlap. Cianci cuts it across. Kubalay has got numbers on the left. Albano with a pot shot. And it's such a disappointing finish. He's just scuffed it away.
Yeah, but they're creating openings. They're moving the ball ever so well. It's that, as you said, that golden touch, that final touch, that when it comes to shots and cross, they haven't got quite right yet. But they need to move the ball a lot quicker if they're going to trouble this Jets team. I think if they move the ball slow, there's too many white shirts to break down behind the ball. So, yeah, I think that will be certainly something that Zoran Markovsky will be saying at half-time. They need to get quicker ball movement.
Delicio's pass. Cello tried to nod it to his own advantage. Foligno came across. Just 1 minute of additional time at the end of the first half. It's been brisk, it's been open, it's been good viewing. And the Newcastle Jets have 2 goals to show. Chanchi watched the ball in flight. Now Wilmering is guarding him, holding him up. Chanchi springs forward. The cross not able to find a teammate as Grant clears. 30 seconds left to play with at the end of the first half. Can Preston get a team lifting moment into the rooms? Chanchi. Short pass finds Ali. Ali back to Cuba. The clock continues to tick. Bryce. And Foligno. Now the left flank. Albano, early ball. Stefan Negro, back to Jean Albano. Oh, and the minute of additional time is up. The clock expires on Preston as they knocked the ball around their penalty area. And perhaps that is the story of the first half. Plenty of possession, plenty of territory, even some good chances. But at halftime, it's the cup holders who have the answers. Preston Lions 0, Newcastle Jets 2.
What are you doing?
We're planking.
It's because of our internet providers.
We're stuck in 2011.
Same slow internet speeds.
And high prices.
It's like a nightmare.
Enough planking. Superloop is a network purpose-built for the super-fast future of the internet. You are free.
Don't take it lying down, Australia. Refresh your internet.
You are free.
Some really good openings. I guess their openings are a bit more clinical in getting into the back of the net. I thought we're moving the ball really well forward, creating overloads out wide and getting the ball into dangerous areas. Just need a bit more clinical finishing in the box.
You had one good chance. Would you like to see the quicker ball movement going forward and that final pass perhaps just a bit more precise?
Well, that's it. That's just those little moments. Their passing when they're cutting it back is hitting a white shirt, and ours unfortunately is just missing the mark a little. So, yeah, just tidy that up. I think the pressure that we're putting on is quite good. Structurally, we're a bit loose at times, so need to fix that up in the second half.
Thanks for joining us. All the best.
Cheers, Appers.
substitution, so we expect that it will be Matthew Bozanovsky and Zach Lizalajski, the former Perth Glory defender, who will be coming on for the second half, and we'll just wait and see whose numbers might be up. As for the Jets, as we'd heard from Michael Zapponi, only 10 training sessions prior to this game. They are in their first competitive match of pre-season, and A-League round 1 is the middle of October, so just under 2 months away. It will be interesting to see how many minutes are in the leg. So Stefan Negro is one of the players who has made way, and Oliver Cockle is going to come on for his competitive first team debut for the Newcastle Jets, and he is on for Xavier Burton-Cello. So I wonder if that means that he will go and play near Nikos Vergos. He gets some congratulations from Max Burgess and Cockle. I was watching him play in the Emerging Socceroos Championships just a couple of years ago when he was a whippersnapper. Roy, it's always an exciting moment for these youngsters from the Jets system when they get to come on and make their debut.
It's terrific. I love to see it as well, as a guy who lives in Newcastle myself, and I'm sure his family are very proud and excited to watch this second half now.
So indicative perhaps of some of the new youngsters that Mark Milligan will be turning to in the new A-League season to replenish the ranks. Preston, they are in a 2-goal hole at the start of the second half. Strikes from Will Dobson and also Nikos Vergos, the difference, but not for a lack of effort and opportunity for Preston. And here's Bozanovsky on the ball. Looks as though there might have been a few defensive changes here for Preston in the second half. Lizalajski, he wins a throw in here. So a double sub and a new look defence for the home side and for Zoran Markovski at the beginning of the second half. Given some of the issues they had with Daniel Wilmering, particularly down the left side, maybe it is not surprising. But they are venturing forward here. Cianci can't find a way past the aforementioned Wilmering, and now he's looking for Cockle, but he can't keep the ball in, or can he? It just hugged the line and never went out. So Cockle shows us what he can do with a little 360 spin straight out of the gates. Only for Kubalay to come across and dispossess him.
Not a bad first touch in first team football, was it?
And a switch over to Lizalajski here, wearing the number 29 shirt. Confirmation on your screens there of the Jets change at halftime. Here's Cianci again. He's looking rejuvenated out of the rooms at the start of the second half. A dash here, but he can't squeeze through a gap, and Bernarda left isolated up top, as was the case for so much of that first half.
Well, Cianci's been good, though. I mean, he's been very lively. He's been very brave, wants the ball all the time. He's direct. He's been the nearly man today, I will say, with his final pass, with his cross. But, you know, if he keeps trying to get on and keeps trying to do the right thing, I'm sure it'll come good for him eventually.
As you can see there, it was Dom Foligno who had made way. So one centre-back and one left-back off at half-time for the Preston Lions. We'll see if those defensive changes can provide the necessary sturdiness to keep them in the contest and within range. Something to bring the home fans back to life. The Newcastle Jets have never been cup set by an NPL side in the Australia Cup. We see Lizalajski win the ball and keep it in, but only to the advantage of the Jets, and they are quick to recycle the ball. Grant. Now Wilmering. And he's in space here. He can build ahead of steam. Vergos flicks it on. Clough, the step over. Dobson! Oh, a couple of nice touches, but Dobson on the fly sent it high and wide.
Yeah, very unfortunate there, but yeah, look, I suppose the great part for Newcastle Jets, like the lads spoke about at half-time, is these combinations, the link-up play in a new team. Zach Clough knows where Dobson is. Vergos is getting into lovely areas. Yeah, it's great to watch for a team that's pretty much new.
Bozanovsky. Cianci. Now Sian Cuba hit the post in the first half. The closest Preston came to scoring. Ryan Scott over to Lizalajski, nods it on. Everything happening at speed for Preston here. Jean Albano He ventured down the left plenty of times in that first half. Can he find a teammate here? Get some separation. And the ball into the near post has to be turned behind for a corner. Set piece early in the second half for Preston.
Well, things haven't changed in that regard. Where they're getting joy, Preston Lions, is when they get the ball wide to Albano and Cianci. That's where they're getting some joy. Again, he won't be happy with the final execution on the cross, but he's earned himself a corner out of it.
And just as Sian Cuba was about to launch in,
we've got an expert on the sideline there, Teo.
Just you be the ref at home or on the sideline. Here comes the corner from Cuba, honing it on the near post, comfortably headed away, but there will be a second time opportunity here. Sian Cuba looks up at Cockle, and to the back post, it's a free header. It's going to fall in the penalty area and cleared by Cooper. He kept his head and volleyed away. Oliver Kubele hasn't scored this season in League or Cup, so he defers. Cianci out to the right, and it will be a corner on the opposite side, and the crowd are finding their voice.
Well, the atmosphere is still top class. I think the fans are well and truly with Preston, and if they get a goal, the roof will come off this place because they'll feel like they're in a cup tie then.
Sian Cuba taking the corners from both sides of the pitch. As we see how that cross was steered out. No time wasted over the corner. Lots of shouting and jostling, and Nunez rises to volley away. Cuba gets another chance here. Decides not to cross without beating the man, and gives it back to Lizalaiski. Now Bryce. Kubele. Here's Albano. Romero. Albano. Kubele. Can he find a gap? Romero in space. What's his left foot like? It rears high off a deflection. Shallow-headed clearance. Kubele with a volley. And I only just mentioned he hadn't scored this season. He's a very busy central midfielder, but goal scoring only an occasional part of his game.
Yeah, no, he's a tidy footballer, there's no doubt about that, but I think his confidence in front of goal looks a bit lacking at the moment, Theo.
Those two shots on target for Newcastle in the second half. Still an ever-present threat that they could extend this lead, they could pull away. Preston haven't been able to convert, Newcastle have. Delianov. Nunez. He's been good at making space for himself in the game, and again, he has time to look at all his options and then feed through the left. Wilmering clips it up. Bryce wins the header away. Burgess. And now Virgos. Clough back into the middle and shinned out. Dobson, tough volley to get over. And that one went well wide.
Again, positive football. I think you're right there about Alex Nunez. I think he's seen last year the likes of Dobson, who got, once he got in the team, he never came out. I think Nunez sees an opportunity, and look, he's certainly got the talent. I don't think he's given the ball away tonight. He's been outstanding, making Newcastle Jets tick.
Well, he was on the bench every game last season and often subbed on late, getting minutes here and there, but it's that first team starting opportunity that he really wants this campaign. He's looking right at home next to Max Burgess in midfield. Lizalaiski. Well, an underhit pass. Clough. Verdelicio. Cooper. All the way back to Delianov. Grant. Cockle. And that will run out for a Preston throw. Bozanovsky plays it to Jamal Ali. Bernarda held the ball up. Ali is going to fall back into Preston possession. Kubalay and Lizalewski. Albano went for the nutmeg on Burgess, but not able to pull it off. Showed too much of the ball to Nunez. A firmly hit back pass with a little bobble. Cleared comfortably enough, but it might be coming back with interest here. Cuba takes the strike and earns his team a corner kick.
Yeah, look, Preston Lions aren't giving up. They'll feel they're well and truly in this game still, even at times. Newcastle Jets feel like they're controlling the football. I think on the counter-attack, they've definitely got something to offer. They've got a bit more physicality on the park now, especially from set pieces, so let's see how this goes.
Cuba out-swinging corner, headed away by Virgos. Lizalewski. Albano couldn't take control of the ball. He's got to be careful here, being challenged by Romero. Kubalay, now Romero. Bernarda, a long way from the penalty box. He's going to advance now, the striker though. Romero, can he link up with him? Over Bernarda's head. Wilmering with a lunge. Bernarda, once, twice! Nahuel Bernarda! The Preston Lions have scored, and it's their Argentine spearhead who has brought BT Connor to life. You can hear the chants as Preston Lions make it 1-2.
Well, we've talked about their end product and their crossing, especially tonight, Preston Lions, but for once, they got it right. The ball comes into the box, they kept it alive. He missed the first one, he wasn't missing the second one. Goal for Bernarda, and we have ourselves a cup tie.
And it's just that competitiveness. I mean, credit to Cianci. He put his head in and had a half-decent shout for a penalty kick. Had Bernarda not finished off the work, but just that refusal to be beaten, the competitive spirit of Nahuel Bernarda willed that ball over the line.
You're absolutely correct. And if you want to get anything out of sport, if you want to get anything out of a cup tie like this, you need bravery, you need desire, not just tactics, not just technique. And they showed a lot of that there, Cianci, to keep it alive. Bernarda at the second attempt, and Newcastle Jets now, their bravery will be tested now. Can they carry on playing their beautiful football going forward and risk getting stung at the back just like that again?
He's 30 years old now, Nahuel Bernarda. In 2021, he had a trial at Adelaide United. Wasn't quite able to convince them to use a visa spot on him as one of their A-League imports. He's certainly carved out a very good NPL career for himself, though.
Well, he's a goal scorer. You know, goal scorers are worth a weight in gold. I know he's at a few clubs, maybe he's chased the dollar around the NPL at times, but he's got something. He's a big boy. They probably haven't serviced him as well tonight, but he'll have his chest out now and he'll be confident and he'll be hunting a second goal.
I think, as you well know, Roy, when you score goals, the clubs chase you.
Yeah. Well, I thought you were going to say you well know about chasing the dollar.
No, I wouldn't dare. Dare.
But you're not far off.
So, the Jets. Michael Zapponi flagged it in the first half. Around the hour mark, would they have it in their legs to run this cup tie out? Can they find a second wind here and put down a bit of Preston resistance? Dobson, if they score now, it would be massive. And the cross through the 6-yard box is turned behind for a corner. Bertolicio perhaps weighing up whether to shoot on the angle or not, but he still earned his team a corner kick.
Yeah, he was in two minds there, but Preston Lions will be happy because it gives them a chance to reset now. If they conceded there, that would have been such a waste of energy, even just in the celebration. They just got themselves back in the game. Let's keep this tie alive.
The Jets know that the opportunity is ripe to kill off the contest. Here's Wilmering. And the follow-up from Cockle is over the bar and out for a goal kick, and Preston connects Hale.
And you have to wonder now as well, who blinks first regards to substitutions? I know we've had Ollie Cockle come on at half-time, but you look at Preston Lions, they have Leighton Brooks, who's 5 goals this season, formerly of Melbourne Victory. Stephen Zinni, 4 goals, so they've got options.
Ali on a venturing solo run. Romero. And He didn't catch it sweetly. It was tumbling out for a corner, thus the urgency of Delianov. And clever as you like from Wilmering. He knocks it out off Chianchi instead. And a goal kick.
Yeah,
you heard the crowd swell.
They have their energy up now, don't they, Theo? This is a proper Australia Cup game now. And even there, he didn't really connect with the ball, Ramiro. But Delianov had to do something to get the ball away from his goal.
It has been typical of some of the shots. We saw it in the first half. Just no oomph, no cleanliness to the striking.
I think the kit man has pumped the ball up too much. I can't get it off the ground.
Kubele caught in possession. Dobson, one already tonight. Trying to turn provider here, but Bryce is able to win it away. Kubele. And now Lizolajski. Hard against the line is Jean Albano. And he runs straight into Cooper, who stands up and wins the ball. And he's had some really good one-on-one defensive moments tonight, Max Cooper.
He's been really good. I think it's a big year. If you remember the start of last season, he was the starting centre-back till he got, I think, an injury and a suspension. And then it was Nata and Shaughnessy all the way. So it's a big year for him.
Yeah, once the Irish import was match fit, he was able to hold down his spot, but Mark Milligan showed plenty of trust in Max Cooper and is more than happy to back him again at the start of the new campaign. Of course, this Jets team, far from the finished article, no Joe Lolly, no Joe Shaughnessy. Alex Battolado's about 10 months into an ACL rehab, so if you look at the Preston fans in the stands, the Jets will continue to add pieces to this team that, of course, finished top of the league last season and had to replenish.
Yeah, well, I've been pleasantly surprised with the Jets so far. As I said, their combinations look good for a team that's pretty much been put together.
Chianchi trying to show Cockle a clean pair of heels. Ali, he's really taking the game on here, Jamal Ali. It tumbles to the... Preston have leveled it up! And in a week of Argentine heartbreak, Nahuel Bernada has the hearts pumping for the Preston Lions. It's 2-2.
Well, didn't we say it? One goal would change. No matter how comfortable we thought Newcastle Jets were, that one goal has taken the roof off this stadium tonight. And lovely play for Jamal Ali. And for once, the bad technique and the bounce of the ball came to their favour. And Bernada, the Argentinian, didn't he enjoy that? A Klinsmann celebration in the corner and headbutts the corner flag. 2-2. We've got ourselves a game, my friend.
Extraordinary noise around Jenna Steele Stadium, and there is only one word to describe it: predatory finishing instincts from Nahuel Bernada.
Chasing goals, Bernada, and I tell you what, he's put the sweat on Newcastle Jets now, and Mark Milligan again as a coach. He's going to have to make some changes here now, and we don't know how it's going to affect his team. We've got Zane Schreiber and Patrick Wood coming on for their debuts for the new club, and you've got De Bono and Goodwin, youngsters on the bench, so it could change the balance of the game completely depending on what he does here.
Well, we're just waiting for kickoff because of these substitutions. So, Pat Wood, previously of Sydney FC, with a loan spell at Perth Glory along the way, and Zane Schreiber, a Sydney FC junior who played more than 50 times for Melbourne City as his first senior A-League club. Zach Clough, you see there, making way. Alex Grant as well. In fact, Nikos Virgos as well. The board, I apologise. So, Alex Grant was just coming over to get a drink. Virgos, having scored, his goal made it 2-0 to Newcastle. He makes way, and on comes Pat Wood. And there's the man of the moment, Nahuel Bernada. So, it's 2-2, and there is plenty of time to go. Just over 25 minutes of regulation, and as things stand, of course, there must be a winner tonight. We would be heading to extra time if we can't split them at the end of the 90, but it's been such an open game. I think there's more goals to come either way. I can't see either team going into their shell here. And Thomas Aquilina has also come on. So, yeah, Grant did come off, and Aquilina has come on. More than 100 A-League appearances, Thomas Aquilina. Previously at both the Wanderers and the Mariners. And still a bit of a Mr. Reliable to just be professional. Think back to last season, he barely played in the new year and they threw him in the deep end against Sydney FC at Allianz and he performed. So he comes on here in the Jets' moment of need where they need some steadying heads.
Well, he's a terrific professional. If you remember, not last season, the season before, he was the Newcastle Jets Player of the Year. So it just shows you what a professional he is to, you know, to lose his place last year essentially to Bertolicio and, you know, stay patient and sign a new contract. So again, he's coming on now as the senior player, as the leader, and trying to get them over the line against the Preston Lions team that has their tail up.
Just the amount of time taken to execute those substitutions. I wonder if that's a little bit of a coaching masterstroke from Mark Milligan, you know? Just take that little extra second to hand over the paperwork, a little extra second to take off the bib, almost like a timeout to break the momentum of Preston, which was seemingly irresistible.
Yeah, well, the weight of expectation now, in the stands especially, is with Preston Lions, and I think you're right. I think Mark Milligan is cute enough to just take a little bit of sting out of this game.
And the Jets can do it by almost defending with the ball here as they knock it around their back line. So with no Alex Grant, it looks as though Joel Bertolicio has been moved into centre back. As Mark Milligan watches on, poker face well and truly fixed. Pat Wood now leading the line with Nikos Virgos having made way. Here's Schreiber. And now Dobson. Scrambling back to defend Kubele and also Albano, but they both collapse out of the way, and the attack continues for Will Dobson. Body check at the edge of the box. Schreiber with a clash of legs. And referee Eric Saba is unmoved by the appeals for a penalty. Away comes Cianci. Sian Cuban nicks it off his toes. Everyone's just bouncing around for Preston now. Bryce. Albano. Lizolajski. Now Romero puts his head down, out to the left. Lizolajski waited forward. Offside. And the left back, he's getting more adventurous. Getting up the pitch, Zach Lizolajski, but too far this time. Here's the penalty shout. Aiden Bryce lunging in.
Yeah, the Aiden Bryce one, maybe. I think even the Bozanovsky one was a free kick, but referee, I don't mind that he's letting things go, he's letting the game flow. But certainly that extra bit of physicality that Preston Lions brought on at half-time has made a difference, and we're not seeing Wilmering and the fullback now on the other side, Aquilina. We're not seeing them being as adventurous and getting in behind at will like they were in the final 10 minutes of the first half. So definitely Zoran Markovsky's changes at half-time have paid dividends, and this game is well and truly in the balance tale.
And down on the sidelines, Michael Zapponi getting to enjoy the experience up close and personal, Zappers.
Absolutely, they have found their voice here at Genesis Steel Stadium. The big crowd that's gathered here tonight are certainly behind their side. They can sense an upset in the making. They certainly have the momentum. It looks like Preston will be going to their bench as well. Leighton Brooks is preparing, the former Melbourne Victory boy, to come on to add some more spark to this side as well. It's going to be a testing time from here on in for Mark Milligan's side.
Thank you, Zappers, as the through ball for Pat Wood. Flag up. Couldn't quite measure it. Scott saved regardless, but Dobson there, the distributor.
Nice football again. I love that. I love a player like Dobson who's always on the half turn and he's always looking to penetrate. It's a striker's dream, and Pat Wood and Nico Virgos this year are going to benefit hugely from his creativity and cleverness.
And we saw Zach Cianci cramping a moment ago, so Zappa's flagging that Leighton Brooks isn't far away. 8 goals this season, 5 in the league and 3 in the cup for Brooks, so he is Preston's top scorer in all competitions. Here's Bernarda. He's on a hat-trick, of course. Romero trying to drive the ball forward. Schreiber. And now Burgess. Nunez. And Wilmering. Here's Aquilina. Bertolicio now. And the ball will run all the way down to Ryan Scott. He rolls it over to Matt Bozanovsky. Ali grabbed and fouled. And in front of the packed stand, Jamal Ali giving the referee the eyes and the foul count. But young Oliver Cockle is able to avoid a booking. Now Newcastle could be on the attack. Aquilina. Dobson able to turn and face. Bozanovsky lunges out. Schreiber's left-footed. He could be dangerous. He decides to go square. Didn't think about a long shot there, but the window was briefly open. And now Preston clear. Bernarda entangled with Cooper. The crowd see just the slightest grab of the shirt and you hear the roar of disapproval. The home fans trying to make an impact on the contest. Kublai. The ball just didn't have the juice on it to find its way to Albano. Burgess directing traffic on the ball. 20 minutes of regulation to go. Schreiber. Nunez. Dobson. Nunez continued his run. And he puts it through the penalty area. It's going to be retrieved by Wilmering. The attack stays alive. As Schreiber turns. Dobson's everywhere at the moment for the Jets, but the height of Bozanovsky crucial to head the ball away. And now Cuba. And again, Preston happy to drive it clear. Bernarda's going to just make mischief. Too much mischief. He gives away a foul.
He does, but I think that's a genuine tactic going forward for Preston Lions. Is Bernarda, a senior 30-year-old striker, full of confidence, up against Cooper and Bertolicio, who's not a natural centre-back by any means, so he's going to try and knock him about and force the issue to get his hat-trick and make himself a Lions hero.
It's just the player with the ability to cause panic and force a mistake. Never mind play the ball once he's got it at his feet. Aquilina in space here. He's not going to maraud forward. He steadies and plays to Schreiber. Nunez, Burgess looks up at three opponents. Aquilina's got space though. Aquilina, a little dink. Bozanovsky's been crucial since coming on. Chachi's still out there. He's seemingly run through this cramp. The ball just won't go out for Preston to make this planned sub. And now Bernarda, he loses the wrestle here to Cooper. He may have dragged Cooper to the ground, but the foul's given against him. And we are going to see activity on the bench, and Zach Chachi's night is over. He is replaced here by Leighton Brooks as we look back at the free kick. But Roy, a word on Zach Chachi tonight.
I think he's been excellent. I think his energy has been terrific. He kept trying to get in the game. I think he's run himself into the ground. Leighton Brooks is a great sub to come on. I think they also have Stefan Zinni to come on as well, which will give them some more energy, possibly for Albano in the next 5 or 10 minutes. But looks good. They're being adventurous. They're trying to win this game. They believe the game is there to be won. So it's well and truly alive. It's great for commentators like us there.
It's been a fun night so far in the Australia Cup. We're into almost the last quarter of the night's action in 90 minutes, and right now we have two A-League teams potentially being taken to extra time. Ali finds Bernarda. Flag stays down. He's a lone hand up top at the moment though, and he's got Burgess to contend with. Bernarda, now support arrives. Ali, and the backtracking Cockle does well, able to pick his pocket, but the ball stays in attack. Brooks' first involvement was to deflect the clearance and win it back. And the crowd sense the opportunity to raise their voice. Here's Lizalewski. Albano shrugs Aquilina. Still Gian Albano. Out to Lizalaiski. He makes ground to the ball. And he wins the corner off Bernalicio. Good hustle from the Preston left back.
Well, they're really forcing the issue now. They're putting Newcastle Jets under all sorts of pressure. They've finally found their little bit of composure in the final third, and they're coming home strong.
And now with Matt Bozanovsky out there, they have an additional tall target to aim for at a corner kick. He's being marked by Max Burgess. There is a significant height difference between the two. Sian Cuba remains on set-piece delivery. A driven corner. Delianov goes with a one-handed spike. Albano once, twice, sliced away. Back to the corner taker, Cuba. He steps out and tries to bend one. He had dreams of the top right corner, but it goes over the bar.
Delianov had a big job there to get his hand on that. There was all sorts of big timber in the box, making it difficult for him.
It's going to be Daniel Lazarevsky coming on here for the Preston Lions. So more fresh legs entering the game. And it's Nahuel Bernardo, the man on a hat-trick. But he won't be able to complete it, and Lazarevsky will be his attacking replacement. So a fresh option comes on. But I see your eyebrows raised, Roy, that it's Lazarevsky and Bernardo who is making way.
I get it now. Well, Bernardo has put a lot of energy into the game, but you know what? You've got 2 goals, you're full of confidence, you find extra energy to get a hat-trick. But, having said that, obviously Lazarevsky could be the wild card here. We don't know much about him, a young boy. So let's see what he's made of.
Ali. Newcastle win the ball back high. This could be dangerous. Wood. Well, he went to ground maybe a little bit too easily for the referee's liking. Preston don't want to tie themselves in knots here. Kubelay's got to be confident. Shakes off Schreiber. And now Romero roaming back into the defensive line. But he's got an outlet pass. And it's Aiden Bryce, the safest player on the ball in that back line. And Romero and Burgess, just a bit of an unfriendly interaction. Oh, Max Burgess not happy at all.
No, he's he's still got that desire. He still wants to win the game, and he obviously felt that Romero went over the top there.
Hearing from Michael Zapponi on the sideline that Nahuel Bernardo was exhausted when he came off. So in the red, maybe too long until the end of the 90.
Tell you what it was, he wasted too much energy on the celebration for the second goal. He could have got another 10 minutes if he just kept his cool there.
He had the full body dive. Lazarevsky, former Western United junior, only 20 years of age. He's been a regular goal scorer in the under-23s this season and getting senior football exposure and opportunity. So he is highly rated. Come back to the Preston Lions, of course. Western United currently play in the VPL 1, the second tier of Victorian football, while their A-League licence is in hibernation. Bozanovsky. And Lizalaiski. Albano. Bryce can stride up to the halfway line. Now he plays the pass to Romero. Who's on here for Romero? Options on the right. Jamal Ali. And the turn from Cuba. And again, Cooper shows his strength. He's able to hold off Sian Cuba there and see the ball out for a goal kick.
Yeah, Cooper there showing experience well beyond his years. Really clever, used his big frame to stop Cuba getting anything on the ball, I should say. And Max Cooper's been excellent tonight.
Bit of a hush falls over BT Connor reserve. Newcastle patiently. See Deliano lured up into the midfield third of the pitch. Now Bertolicio. Aquilina. Dobson tried to give Lizalewski the slip. Lizalewski might have been trodden on there. He looks sore. The ball is live. And Preston are leaving their defence. Romero out to Albano. And the early ball is on. Here goes Lazarevski. He takes it wide. Lazarevski out for a corner. Slight challenge, a good one. And again, the youngster Cooper, he's holding up the Newcastle defence.
No, he's been top notch tonight, but good run from our mate Lazarevski, who's just come on. Obviously got a little bit of pace. He's got some decent movement as well, so he's going to certainly test the two centre backs for the last 10 minutes of normal time. Could make himself a hero.
And again, the height profile of Bryce and Bozanovsky has to be dealt with here by the Newcastle defence. No time wasted over the corner. It slides through the penalty area. Kubele. Bryce. The centre-back puts in the cross. Burgess clears it away. Lizalewski with a drive, and it just kept rising. Well, Zach Lizalewski never scored an A-League goal at the Glory, and he very nearly scored a spectacular Australia Cup goal there.
Well, I tell you what, when that ball dropped, Bryce tries to, as has been the case tonight, cross has not been great, but Lizalewski had nothing else in his mind but hitting that with his left foot. Jeez, he's had a sweet strike on it, very unlucky.
And of course, this stage, the Preston Lions are a foundation member of the Australian Championship. A player like Zach Lizalewski, it makes the decision to come back to the NPL that much easier when you know you've got these sort of platforms to still show your stuff. Seen the amazing success story of Ali Orgler at the Central Coast Mariners. Scored in all 6 group games of the Australian Championship in September and October last year. Turned that into a gig where he just kept scoring at the Central Coast. He'll be in action tomorrow night as Central Coast take on Sydney United. Here's Pat Wood. Played it back into a contest. Brooks wins the 50-50. Burgess hustling, and he does get to the ball and keep it at Newcastle feet. Bertolicio finds Aquilina. Lazarevski trying to squeeze the ball over to Brooks, but Burgess takes over. And the Jets, they've got numbers committed forward here. Can they execute? Can they win this without the need for extra time? Dobson could be the player to make it happen, but through comes Bryce with a challenge. And now Ali down the right side. Lazarevski, a little stutter step, then a burst of speed. And the grab from Burgess, so we're going to see a yellow card. We are a booking for the Newcastle captain as Lazarevski lured him in.
Yeah, and it's, by the way, it's a good yellow card there. It's what they call a professional foul, because he's got sucked in. He's left a lot of space behind there, and Lazarevski was looking at going on a run there. So it's probably a good yellow card and for Burgess and for Newcastle Jets.
Now this is the sub you were flagging, Roy. Stefan Zinni has come on here for Jean Albano. You called it exactly.
Yeah, well, look, he's been playing well this year. He's got 4 goals. As you and me have seen up close in the Oz Championship. He's a decent player on his day, and he's a little bit of a wild card because Newcastle Jets won't know a whole deal about him, I'd imagine.
Straight down the right goes Brooks, but he can't fashion a cross, and now Cockle battling as the ball rolls out. Sorry, I've just been distracted. I received a DM saying Holly McNamara to Everton. So there you go. Matilda star Holly McNamara has chosen Everton in the women's WSL. Breaking news. Back to the Australia Cup, right?
Good on Holly.
Good on Holly. It's all happening. We've got 6 minutes of regulation time to go here at Jenna Steele Stadium. Aquilina. Schreiber. Trying to find Cockle. That's good control of the ball. Schreiber. And now Pat Wood starting wide. Lays it back inside. Aquilina to Burgess. Long string of passes for the Jets, but they go all the way back to their centre-backs. Here is Bertolicio. He's been at centre-back since Alex Grant was subbed off. Dobson. Nunez. Schreiber. And now Cockle. The relay almost continued out to the left flank. The pass just didn't have enough on it. And now Cockle is lured in by Brooks and legs him. And Preston were just patient there. They waited for the Jets and it nearly unfolded for them.
Yeah, well, Ollie Cockle, the first part done really well. Got on the half turn, saw the overlapping, marauding run of Wilmering. He didn't execute, and he had to give away the foul. So good learning there for the youngster.
Given away here by Zinni, and this could open the door here for Aquilina. Pat Wood making ground in the middle, and the pass was hopeful more than expectant, and Bozanovsky clears away. At this late stage of the night, one lapse in concentration could be the difference between extra time and elimination. Nunez. And he's going to win a corner kick. It's been a long time since the Jets had their last corner, so they've got a set piece here. And they haven't been afraid of taking the short corner. We saw it earlier when Clough was on. Oh, the goalkeeper's down, Ryan Scott. Just favouring his right calf here. Of course, the former Newcastle Jets #1, and a real fan favourite when he was in Newcastle as well. Preston will be desperately hoping he doesn't have to leave the game. Of course, he has previously won an Australia Cup penalty shootout for the Bentley Greens in an all-Victorian tie against Hume City. He's taken a seat here and the trainer has been called, and it's almost like a late time out here for both teams to gather themselves for a sprint to the finish line.
Yeah, I'd hate to be the one to say the goalkeepers don't do much running. I don't know how he's got a cramp, but I'm sure he'll recover pretty quickly. But as you said, he was a cult hero in his time at Newcastle Jets, a terrific keeper, a terrific servant for Australian football, and he's certainly been a great servant for Preston Lions since he's returned.
And he's back up here after the briefest treatment period. So, a corner for Newcastle. Can they strike late? Looping corner to the near post. Wood made a contest, and as did Schreiber. He wins another corner kick. Not sure that was the intention of the corner, but they get take two.
Yeah, no way past the big timber of Preston Lions at the moment.
Nunez again. Wood looking for the flick on. Zinni couldn't take possession. Wilmering, and a deflection was key. Took the shot off target, and it means it's a third corner in a row, but this one coming in from the left. And again, just a hush has fallen over Jenna Steele Stadium. Now the drum sparks back up. 2 minutes of regulation to go. Nunez taking the corners from both sides. This one a low ball down the line. Schreiber feeds it back out, and the ball just lifted across the face of goal. Burgess refusing to let it go out though. He chases it down, but he hasn't done enough to win a throw-in for his team. Sometimes I feel like I overdo talking about the height disparity, but there was absolutely no intention of Newcastle to play those balls into the box in the air.
Yeah, you can't blame them. I don't think Nunes and Dobson have much of a chance in the air against a Bozanovsky and an Aidan Bryce.
Delianov with confident goalkeeping out of his line. Aquilina. So we're into the last minute of the 90. Cooper. Touch from Wood. He's able to fashion a header. Ali, Cockle. Wood was running, but Zalewski came across from left back to clear it away. We had just the 1 minute of stoppage time in the first half. How many minutes will there be at the end of the second here? This match currently heading for extra time, as is Lions Perth. That game remains goalless. Two A-League clubs still in jeopardy. Here's Wood, blocked immediately. Kubalay. And turning to distribute. Not too much on the pass. Brooks not able to run it down.
They haven't been able to get Leighton Brooks in the game the way they would have liked since he's come on. But the way it's looking, it might be extra time, so he'll still have his chance to prove decisive in this game.
4 additional minutes. Plenty of time for the Jets. They had some amazing late moments last season. None bigger than the semi-final, of course, where they grabbed that equaliser through Eli Adams. But you also think of Ben Gibson's winner at Allianz against Sydney FC. They never stop playing the Jets, and they will try to make the most of the time they've been allocated, but they're not going to capitalise on this phase of play. Preston come away with the ball. Kubalay. Romero. And Bryce. Bozanovsky. And Ali. Too much on the pass. Must be said, Preston haven't created a great deal since the equaliser.
Yeah, it's become very real since they've equalised that, you know, this game is well and truly in the balance.
Cockle, the exuberance of youth. Burgess. Looking for gaps. Too easy, the shout from Zoran Markovsky on the sideline. Bozanovsky volleys away on his shin. Now an improvised little flick. Kubalay appeared to foul Burgess. Play continues. Cockle, Dobson. Ali scrambling here as Dobson accelerates into the box. And he just twists it into the gloves of Ryan Scott. A player like Will Dobson on the ball, you get it wrong. High risk of conceding a penalty. Here's Zinni. He releases the pass to Leighton Brooks. Brooks tries to accelerate past Cooper. He fashions a cross. And it's in for Preston! Daniel Lazarevsky! He celebrates in front of the fans! The Preston Lions are just moments away from knocking out the Australian Cup holders! And it's a stoppage time header from the super sub, Daniel Lazarevsky, to make it 3-2.
Well, what a time to announce yourself to the Australian football public. Great play, great distribution from Ryan Scott initially. Lovely switch of play. Leighton Brooks the sub. And what a header from Lazarevsky. He's made himself a Preston Lions legend against the champions Newcastle Jets, who look like they're heading for an early exit in the Cup this year.
They were 2-0 down, Preston, at half-time. Nahuel Bernardo got them level. And now it's the 20-year-old Daniel Lazarevsky. He started the season playing VPL 1 at Western United. He moved to Preston mid-season. And now he has put his name up in lights with what in a minute or so's time, it could be the match-winning goal.
And we've said that. Zoran Markovsky, when he took off Bernarda, you raised your eyebrows, Theo, I didn't. But he's definitely played his wild card, and the wild card has come to fruition. And what a goal and what a moment for Daniel Lazarevsky. Brilliant.
Is this the stage where another Australia Cup hero is made? Ryan Scott's been here and done it all before. The original 4 minutes of stoppage time has expired. The Jets have never been cup set. They are the cup holders. BT Connors at fever pitch. Listen to that crowd. The ball is cleared away. It's all on the whistle of Eric Saba. How long to go? The Jets were miracle workers last season when it came to stoppage time goals. They've suffered one here. Can they answer in kind? Cockle slipped at the key moments. And Sian Cuba, and the ball will deflect out for a goal kick. And that will take us beyond 5 additional minutes.
Well, who would have seen this at half-time? It looked like Newcastle Jets were comfortable. Preston Lions couldn't get their final pass and final cross together. Hasn't this game well and truly turned a full 180?
Ryan Scott has taken every possible second. You can hear the whistles ringing around the venue. A famous night for the Preston Lions. They topple the Australia Cup holders. And the Newcastle Jets have been cup set for the very first time. This is the magic of the Hahn Australia Cup. And the 23rd cup set in its history ends Preston Lions 3, Newcastle Jets 2. Roy O'Donovan, the Preston fans will drink it in. Their first time on the national stage, and Zoran Markovsky has masterminded the cup set here, and the champions, the holders, are out.
Well, what a game. What an advertisement for the Hahn Australia Cup. And what a game. The atmosphere inside this stadium has been top-notch all night. And huge credit must go to both teams and supporters. But Preston Lions, congratulations. You're in the draw for the next round.
And what a moment for Daniel Lazarevsky. Nahuel Bernarda had dragged his team back into this game with a double. They were 2-0 down at halftime. He was on a hat-trick. He was looming large. They sub him off, and the 20-year-old they sub him on for has nodded in the match-winning goal. And look at these scenes at full time.
You have to say, without being too critical, had Alex Grant stayed on the park, does he get that header in the last second? Look, we'll never know. But certainly the inexperience back there became a little bit of an issue in that last 20 minutes. And Preston Lions well and truly punished your reigning champions, Newcastle Jets.
So there will be a new Australia Cup winner this season. The Jets can go and continue their pre-season. Of course, they've got Champions League Elite to look forward to, so they'll still be very much ramping it up. And they've got a new look squad with some big names to come back. But their time as defending champions lasted just 90 minutes. And it is going to be, for a Tuesday night, a long and late one at BT Connor Reserve as the fans drink this in. Just an outpouring of emotion at full time. Max Burgess left to mull over how that game lets them, because Newcastle played some good stuff tonight, and their fans, yes, they'll be disappointed that they won't go back to back, but they produced some good football and lots of evidence that they will be contenders again.
They'll be disappointed, yes. Did they play well? Yes. But I saw enough tonight to know that they're going to have another good season, and there's lots of green shoots there to tell me that they're going to be a threat again in the A-League this year.
And the Preston Lions, they add their name to the honour roll of teams to have knocked an A-League side out of the Australia Cup. They'll play for a trophy on August the 8th at Lakeside Stadium in the Doherty Cup final. Of course, that's the end result of the Victorian qualifying strain. And Heidelberg United, who've also advanced tonight, will be waiting for them in that game with a trophy on the line, but their name is in the hat for the round of 16. And on the evidence of tonight, plenty of A-League teams might be hoping to give them a wide berth.
Absolutely. Look, I'll tell you what they did tonight. They showed some grit, they showed some character, and they showed some quality. Well done, Preston Lions.
Let's go down to the aftermath. Michael Zapponi has got the hero.
Well, here is the hero, mate. Can you tell me what you're going through right now? The crowd's going off. It's a highlight of your career, no doubt.
Yeah, 100%. I'd like to thank everyone at the club, the staff, the boys, the coaching staff especially, just for giving me the opportunity to come out, make an impact, and couldn't be more happier. To the fans, like, I can't believe how much of a emotion kicker it is to score, and when you get behind us, it's like no other. So I really appreciate it.
That ball came in, looping over, and you just said to me off air that your eyes lit up.
Yeah, my eyes lit up like I've never seen anything like it in my life. So, no, it was a great ball by Brooksy. All credit to him for the ball. Just open net, and if I miss, then, my dad, who knows what he would have said to me, but nah, can't complain.
And you were 2-0 down. What was said at half-time? Because you're completely different in the second half.
Yeah, well, we just thought, you know what, just go for it. Like, we've got nothing to lose at the moment. We conceded 2 goals, 2 similar goals, I believe, through good play, and credit to them, they were a great side. But we pushed through, and Bonnie, like, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be standing here doing this in this interview. So, no, credit to him for the 2 goals, and that's about it.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll get to the other goal scorer here in a sec.
Cheers.
Daniel Lazarevsky and Noel Bonata, congratulations. What an effort from you, because when you walked off, you looked like you had nothing left in you.
I had nothing left. I ran. We played a few days ago as well, and we made a great effort tonight. We came from behind. We worked really hard. I think we deserved a little bit more in the first half, but then half-time we recharged batteries and we went again.
Celebrations are happening now. Thousands here tonight. Is this the greatest moment you've experienced here at BT Connor Reserve?
Man, I'm new to this club, and so far I've been loving it. Week in, week out, we have this crowd. Even if this is a big game like tonight, or we play the bottom team on the NPL. This club is amazing, and these people deserve this win.
2-0 down against the cup holders. You guys still believed, and I'm sure you believe you can go further in this competition now.
Man, they're a great team. We studied them, and we saw that they are really good football team. But from the start, we said we had to believe in us. We believe in us, and I think we can go as far as we believe. But always we go game by game.
Congratulations, well done. Enjoy it.
Thank you so much.